Let's now shift our attention to the other big story that we are tracking on WION, where India has lodged a formal complaint against Pakistan for having invited Pakistan-occupied Kashmir minister at a SAARC Chamber of Commerce event last week in Islamabad. Now, the protest was lodged at the SAARC Secretariat in Kathmandu in Nepal. And WION has now accessed the details of the Indian protest note verbal to the SAARC Secretariat. Now, India has complained against Pakistan for inviting the Pak-occupied Kashmir minister, which is under illegal occupation of Pakistan. Now, India says that such a step by SAARC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the SCCI, is in clear violation of the SAARC Charter and principles. Now, India has also said that the SCCI has clearly breached the guidelines and obligations that are meant for the SAARC apex bodies by indulging in what is clearly a political activity. And India has now asked for strict action against this by the SAARC apex body. Remember, Indian diplomat Shubham Singh had left the SAARC meeting in Islamabad on the 9th of December after Pakistan had invited the POK minister Chaudhry Mohammad Said at the meeting to speak. It did not stop just at the invitation. The POK minister was also given the platform to address the event as well. And that's when the Indian diplomat walked out. And this was yet another attempt which is being seen as to where Pakistan has tried to push its agenda and propagate its legitimacy to POK. All right, now for more on this, we are joined in by my colleague Siddhant Sibal, who is joining us from New Delhi. Now, Siddhant, the letter of complaint that has been written by India over the invitation of the POK minister has been accessed by WION. What exactly are the details?
Well, it's an explosive letter because India clearly saying that the SAARC Chamber of Commerce should be de-recognized. This is an important statement made by India. Clearly shows that New Delhi is miffed at what happened. Basically, there was an event on 8th of this month celebrating the 34th anniversary of SAARC, the SAARC Charter Day, which was being celebrated in Islamabad. There have been a lot of events in Pakistan, unlike in other countries such as India, because we know the enthusiasm when it comes to SAARC is fading away. And during this event, which was organized by SAARC Chamber of Commerce, a POK minister was present. As you've already mentioned, the Indian diplomat left, but India, of course, clearly miffed and has written a letter that SAARC Chamber of Commerce should be de-recognized. This is a strong news which is coming out, shows that India is no longer not only keen with SAARC, but any activity which goes against the Indian interest, India will take with the SAARC Secretariat in Kathmandu, and that is why India has written this letter to the SAARC Secretariat calling that the SAARC Chamber of Commerce should be de-recognized.
Right, at this point of time, Siddhant, has the Pakistani establishment responded at all to this complaint lodged by India? Because clearly what they've done is something which sparks of mischief, because this is clearly against the SAARC Charter, and they've still gone on and invited a POK minister, which is essentially a political agenda that they've tried to peddle there.
Well, it clearly shows Pakistan is playing its old double games back with India and is using SAARC as a platform. We know the SAARC is being boycotted not only by India but countries like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, because of what Pakistan has been doing, supporting, aiding and abetting terrorism in the entire region, destabilizing the entire region. Now, Pakistan is not only using SAARC for its own purposes but is also involving China, because on 8th of December itself, when the events were being organized all through the day in Islamabad, there was one event in which the Pakistani establishment had called the Chinese ambassador. The Chinese ambassador was present in that event, and India, of course, being sidelined. Even the flags of India were kept distance away, while the Chinese flag were kept in the front row. And it clearly shows that Pakistan is trying to use SAARC for its own double game, using the platform for its own double game. And when India was keen on SAARC, SAARC, especially on connectivity projects, Pakistan was the country which was dragging its feet, not allowing the entire group to progress, especially on connectivity. Remember the motor transport agreement, which is now the BBIN between Bangladesh, Nepal, India and Bhutan. Once it was to extend till Pakistan and Afghanistan, but Pakistan, it did not let it happen and was acting as an obstacle. So India now has BBIN and a separate motor agreement with Afghanistan. But it shows that India is not keen on SAARC, and there is now almost 100% likelihood that there won't be any SAARC summit in 2019, even though sources in Pakistani establishment have said that Imran Khan will be writing a letter to Indian Prime Minister saying that he invites the Indian Prime Minister for the SAARC summit. But clearly the MEA sources have confirmed to us that there won't be any such visit by the Indian Prime Minister in 2019 to Pakistan for the SAARC summit.
Absolutely, indeed. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Siddhant Sibal, for joining us and getting us the latest on this story. So India has written a letter of complaining about the invite that was extended to a minister of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Now, this is in clear violation of the SAARC Charter. Pakistan would be well aware of what it was doing. This was the summit, that Charter Day, that was being held in Islamabad in Pakistan. And it is here that the minister, the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir minister, was in fact given a platform to even speak. And that is when that the Indian diplomat decided to walk out in protest. And India has also now lodged a formal complaint. And WION has exclusively accessed this complaint letter that has been filed by India. Now, what is quite clear is that SAARC, which should have been a grouping of nations for greater cooperation, is being sought to be used by Pakistan to try and peddle its own domestic agenda. Now, quite clearly, Pakistan knows that it was in violation of the SAARC Charter. It should not have invited the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir minister, because this is clearly a red flag. India considers Pakistan-occupied Kashmir as a part of its sovereign territory, and this is quite clearly something that was done to try and invoke tensions there. And also, I'm told we are joined in presently by our Islamabad Bureau Chief, Anas Malik, who's joining us live from Islamabad. Now, Anas, WION has accessed this letter of complaint written by India, where India has said that this clearly has violated the SAARC Charter. What exactly do we know of the details in this letter?
Well, yes, the Indian side, in its note verbal on sent to the SAARC Secretariat in Kathmandu, they have clearly demanded action against SCCI, the SAARC Chamber of Commerce, which is an apex body, an offshoot, and it has been recognized by the SAARC by the SAARC body itself. And as my colleague from New Delhi, Siddhant, said and rightly reported, that the Indian side has demanded stricter actions because it violated the SAARC Charter. The apex body that had been given recognition from the SAARC Secretariat, they took a decision unilaterally. It was not a multilateral decision. That was against the spirit of SAARC, because SAARC, in the SAARC Charter, it was clearly decided that everything will be multilateral and not unilateral. The Pakistani side now has gone on to justify. We're yet to hear an official word from the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs on that, for that matter. But on the day of the event, when Indian diplomat Mr. Shubham Singh, he walked out and registering a very strong protest on the presence, and when the POK minister, the Pakistani side of Kashmir's minister Chaudhry Mohammad Saeed was given the stage and podium, Mr. Shubham Singh walked out and he registered a very strong protest as well. But the Islamabad Chamber of Commerce president, Mr. Zubair, he then took the podium towards the end, and he said that this was a non-political event. Now the question remains here, Saleh, is that if this was a non-political event, then why was a unilateral decision taken, and why was a controversial figure given the status of Jammu and Kashmir, that it's a disputed property? Why was he even invited to the event, and let alone being given the stage to share his views? Yes, Saleh.
Absolutely, indeed. We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed.